Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing okay. Excuse my hair. I'm going to be off work tomorrow, so I'm kind of relaxed, preparing myself for a day of introspection and rest. I hope everybody is doing okay. I hope all of you are not working yourselves too hard with the realities, as the hard realities of Trump's tariffs are beginning to hit. I want to send some words of encouragement and motivation. It will be well. You will be well. Don't lose your eye from the ball. And on that note, quick roundup for the day. Harry is in court, as we mentioned yesterday, and as you may have seen, there was a bit of a scare today, but don't worry, no panic. Harry is fine. I didn't rush to post it because I knew, come on, he's not paying all that money to not be fine. And I was even joking with someone that, a Sussex squad got in because again, everything this man does, anything him and his wife do, are just wildly exaggerated and blown up in the media. Somebody burst into court and made an outburst, and they're turning it into this big drama as if this doesn't happen a lot of times. But for those of you who don't know, Harry is fine. As I said, he's doing okay. Let's quickly have a roundup. So Prince Harry was dramatically hurried out of the courtroom by his bodyguards today during a hearing into his security arrangements following outburst by a supporter. The Duke of Sussex was at Court of Appeal on Wednesday to challenge the dismissal of his High Court claim against the Home Office over the decision of the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, RAVEC, that he should receive a different degree of protection when in the UK. Parts of today's hearings are being heard in private, and if you recall from the video yesterday, I know it was long and it was kind of tedious, but the judge did mention that. So these private hearings were without the press or public. Shortly after proceedings were paused to allow the room to be cleared early this afternoon, a member of the public shouted her support for the Duke as he left the courtroom, saying, "I support you, Harry." Harry's bodyguards then made sure they got between him and the woman, who shouted out as he hurried out of the courtroom, as she added, "If you're members of the press, you're the reason he's no longer in England." Ooh. While I don't appreciate that type of outburst, there's no point scaring him like that. That was very sweet. It comes after the Duke arrived in the Royal Courts of Justice, completely blinding everybody. So whenever they say, guys, that, an insider told me, a friend told me, but the friend didn't know that Harry was coming. No leaks in Montecito, guys. Anyway, he appeared in London, in central London earlier yesterday. Harry, who lives in Montecito, could be seen writing on light blue sticky notes and quietly talking with part of his legal team during parts of the hearing, says the Mirror. The two-day appeal comes after the retired High Court Judge Sir Peter Lane ruled last year that RAVEC's decision, taken in early 2020 after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex quit as senior working royals, was lawful. The appeal previously heard from Shahid Fatima KC for the Duke, who said that RAVEC came up with a different and so-called bespoke process for Harry. Again, that was covered in the video I posted yesterday. She continued, "The appellant does not accept that bespoke means better facts. In fact, in his submission, it means that he has just been singled out for different, unjustified, and inferior treatment." Ms. Fatima told judges that the bespoke process involves RAVEC considering why Harry would attend a particular event, even though that is plainly irrelevant to the question of security. And that is the tea, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the Manchester Evening News. Hopefully I don't get money. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's getting harder to post these videos because I always get monetized and it spoils the experience. I know people are saying, use OBS. But the thing with using OBS is that they don't have any phone option. And for those of us that are engineers, it can be quite difficult. But I'm looking for other solutions. But yeah, just a quick thing to add on that. I said it last night. I'll say it again. This is part of the reason why I really do think that members of the royal family, especially senior working royals, should have their identities protected until they are old enough to understand the implications of the role they are playing or they could be playing, and until they give their express consent for their image to be made public. Because I think it's not fair. You can't come. Harry has been in the public eye since he was a baby, way before he could even understand what the hell was going on in his life. You know, you have kind of compromised him in that way. Of course, we can say his parents made that decision, but that's neither here nor there. They made that decision because he's a member of the senior royal family sect, right? And yeah, the very nature of his birth, whether he didn't choose to be born in the royal family, he was born here. You made his image public and compromised his security from a very young age. As far as I am concerned, this is the least you can do for him. Give him security. I hope he gets the security. I said it yesterday that I'm worried. I kind of feel they'll play in his face because the UK is just the UK judiciary system. Even though yes, he has won his case, I'll give it to him. He's been very successful. Anything that has to do directly with the royal family. Common sense doesn't always prevail with these people. Well, I don't know. I keep on rooting for him and hoping for him. So let's wish him well. Right. So I got some things to quickly talk about today. Oh gosh, that's shady. First of all, let's just celebrate our girl. Let's celebrate our girl, guys. Duchess Meghan's shout out to SK. Duchess Meghan is #1 in the USA, #1 in Canada, 2 UK, and 4 Australia. And you know the majority of Australians would have been, okay, let me not say the majority, because nowadays I think we're beginning to realize that even if you are a hater, if you're spending money, you're spending your time listening to her, I don't know. Like I said, it's a brutal circle, isn't it? A brutal cycle that they have created. They have created so much noise around this woman and turned her name into a multi-million-dollar brand that even though they hate her, but because they rely on their income because of her, they don't have any choice but to make her successful. So I guess congratulations, Duchess. This is fantastic. And for those of you who say, oh, she doesn't have any influence, nobody likes her. So how is she getting #1 in USA, Canada, US, and top 5 in UK and Australia? If they were tracking other countries, I'm sure she'd be just as high. I'm just saying, you can't fake influence. Kendrick said it very well. Also, there was an interesting article about racism, but I don't want to do that. I'm not going to read that today. Not yet. I don't want a situation. She's riding such a good high. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it light. And of course, we will be dragging. Trust. Yeah, so a quick recap on I've been seeing quite a lot of recaps from people on Twitter who are loving Meghan's show. A lot of people who are like this lady subscribing to Lemonada. Please, if you can, if you want to, if you don't have any type of podcast or streaming service, you might as well support Lemonada for the sake of Duchess. Yeah, go ahead. It sounds good. Of course, this is evidence of celebrating our queen. And what I love about it, guys, is she's #1 on business charts. Right? So it's not just some celebrity. I mean, yeah, technically she is a celebrity. But the fact that, she is, you can very clearly see what her team is trying to establish her as. Okay, fine, I'm a celebrity. Okay, fine, I'm a member of the royal family. But there's more to me. I am a businesswoman. I am a founder. Mwah, chef's kiss. No other person in the royal family, working or non-working, has been able to achieve this. And I hope that the respect that she continues to hopefully get in the business scene continues to grow, because let us pepper the haters. Yes, let them cry. They're all bitter and pressed. Right. So again, another evidence of the chat topper here. Truly incredible work, Meghan. Very proud of you. And yeah, we've already read this one. And this lady, I like her. She's always on Twitter shaking things up. She's always I think people think that if you speak about the royal family, you speak about, genuine concerns about not only how they are being reported and protected by the British press, but you call out a lot of this waste and the spending and how their lifestyle does not directly conform with what we expect to see in a post-millennial world. You get called a hater, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I like this comment she made. She said it's a stark contrast, isn't it? While Meghan surrounds herself with driven, uplifting voices, Kate seems stuck in a palace bubble, rigid, performative, and curated for optics. One chose growth and authenticity, the other chose pageantry and silence. I agree. I'm sorry. And people are saying, oh, well, she doesn't have to be in the media. Yes, she does. I'm sorry. You know why? Because she and her husband cost the taxpayers at least £50 million a year. And then the sycophantic press keeps on telling us every day that the reason the royal, the real royals, the royal family is, the so-called working royal is needed, is they are soft power. They are here to help you. They're here to make people feel good. And I'm like, I know people that don't put on the heat in their homes and they are freezing to death. They're literally falling sick because they can't put the heat in there. They can't afford it. I know people who cannot afford, who need to look for where to live, who are always moving around because they keep getting kicked out because they can't afford rent. I know people that are living in hotel rooms right now because the council doesn't have any home to give them. I'm sure the first thing if we ask them is, what's keeping you going? They will say Kate Middleton. Sorry, Princess Kate. Sorry, King Charles. Sorry, Camilla. Yeah, that's definitely what they will say. The BS has got to stop, guys. And even if you want to keep your royal family like they are doing in other parts of Europe, can someone explain to me why they don't work? I'm still not clear why they don't work. There's no reason why Kate shouldn't get a job or William shouldn't get a job, a real job, not just parading around sitting on 50 million. But yeah, I really want to start that conversation. I hope this movement grows. I hope people begin to ask this question. Why are the members of the royal family not working? There's no reason they shouldn't be. It's the bare minimum they can do, frankly. And yeah, I just want this is a bit messy. I don't like this. I'll be very honest. This whole celeb bitchy thing, I see her as, or him or whatever, as somebody who plays both sides, and she's always talking out of the both sides of her mouth. And she can be quite he or she can be quite shady. But I found this funny. I don't even know, but let me read this for you guys. The title, King Charles courtiers are fuming about Prince Harry's appearance in London. What? I simply cannot get enough of the British media fuming over Prince Harry's sudden appearance in London this week. Don't forget, guys, they have insider information, but they didn't know he was coming. It's turned into one of the scandals of the week, really. How dare Harry fly into the UK without telling them? How dare he steal the King Charles's Roman thunder? Let me just clarify again for those of you who don't know. Charles is in Rome, which I completely forgot about and didn't even remember that was happening. I didn't even know it was happening until Harry came into the UK. Oops. And it's very interesting how, I'm not particularly sure what they've gone there to go and do other than take pictures, but I was telling someone when I heard that, okay, so they've gone to Rome to go and have a holiday on our dime. You see these people. Anyway, and it's interesting how this holiday, I think it coincides with a celebration they are having, and I'm like, on our money. Anyway, I am giggling at every single one of these articles and commentary pieces. The royal rota is especially mad because they had to go to Rome to Charles and Camilla thinking that they were going to just cover an ancient king and queen staggering around for 4 days. They would have stayed home if they had known the real king of England was flying in. Even more hilarious is that Charles's courtiers are now briefing the poor cancer-struck king just wanted all of the attention to be on him for once. In a way, I kind of feel sorry for Charles. Ever since he's been a little boy, the press have been cruel to him. And then he grows up and his wife steals his thunder. Now his sons are stealing his thunder. And now the son that he treated like shit. Every time Harry so much as is seen to have stepped out of Montecito, nobody even remembers Charles. And as somebody who needs attention, this is killing me. I am dying. Any other father would be so proud of their son. I swear to God. Any other father would be like, would look at Meghan and be like, you've done well, my child. Any other father, but not this one. This family is ridiculous. Anyway, she's quoting Richard K. Fine. Richard K. Even the most swivel-eyed of Prince Harry's devoted fans, F-off, must have been taken aback by the timing. Not really, because we knew he was going to have his appeal case. If you didn't think he was going to come to the UK for that, then you're the idiot. Just as King Charles stood stiffly to attention in the Rome sunshine, but there's sunshine in Rome. Guys, I need to go to south of France. It's time. I have to find some people to go with me. I really want to go to Ezzy. Anyway, let me not get distracted. To the attention in the room sunshine for the official welcome marking his first visit as monarch to Italy. Really, ooh, yikes. The historic moment was being overshadowed by the arrival of the real King of England, looking very hot. I mean, yesterday, I have to say, he was doing everything for me in that outfit, looking sexy, swaggering. I love a confident man. Anyway, was overshadowed by the arrival of his son at the Royal Courts of Justice in London. Harry was in town for the last roll of the dice in his battle to win back official police protection for him and his family whenever they are in the UK. He was appealing against a judge's ruling that the decision to downgrade his security was neither lawful, was neither what? He was appealing against a judge's ruling that the decision to downgrade his security was neither unlawful nor unfair. What? That doesn't make any. Anyway, it's Daily Mail. What do I expect? What an irony then that this unheralded appearance slipping unseen into Britain as he has done on frequent occasions over the duration of this and his many legal cases seem to undermine his very argument that it is not safe for him to travel within the land of his birth. There was no publicity of his departure from the US, and his presence in London was only confirmed after his arrival. And these people are intentionally being obtuse, but I'll comment at the end. But what an outrage that the scene stealing, yes, of course, should come at the expense of his cancer-stricken father. Yes, because when they were planning the appeal, which was going to take late, I want everybody to know that this appeal came out. This appeal news, breaking news, came out last year. So it must mean that it was in the diary since last year. So it's not Harry. I don't know what you wanted Harry to do. I don't think Harry intentionally planned on upstaging his father. It's not his fault that you guys cannot stop talking about him. Nobody's forcing you to report Harry. You can focus on King Charles. Anyway, I'll just ignore that whining. If ever there was a more convincing demonstration of the two faces of royalty, this was surely it. As the Mail reveals today, just hours after embarking on the 4-day state visit to Italy, the king was in hospital for scheduled cancer treatment. What has that got to do? Anyway, he flew by helicopter from Highgrove, his home in Gloucestershire, which is beautiful, by the way. Anybody who comes to the UK, if you've ever been to the Cotswolds, it's just a completely different part of this world. Just absolutely stunning. Flew from his home in Gloucestershire to London, landing at Kensington Palace. From where he was driven to the hospital. There was no question of this hindering or even preventing the royal trip. When the treatment was completed and after a period of recuperation, he returned to the Cotswolds before flying to Rome on Monday for his Roman work. Yesterday, watching a joint flight past by the Italian aerobic team and the Red Arrows, the king was a very example of selfless duty. In what way exactly? People in the UK and in the US, how is the king standing by watching a pageantry at our expense and at the expense of the Italian government, a duty that is selfless and impacts me and you? My brain didn't even know how to construct that because that's such utter and complete nonsense. You see, sycophantic press. Anyway, he and Camilla undertook a raft of official engagements alongside Italy's President Sergio Mattarella. And Harry, a 5,000-mile flight for a courtroom appearance that left some questioning the need for him even to be there. This is just a salty article. They didn't know he was coming and they're bitter and pressed that they were not in the country. While Harry literally came in and has walked out. Now they're bitching online. Good Lord. It was at the very least a distraction. How? Anyway, others were less circumspect, quite unnecessary. What was he thinking of? Look, I'm sorry. It's not their fault that Harry is the Beyonce in this let me not even use Destiny's Child. That's an insult to Destiny's Child. It's not Harry's fault that he is the only bright star in this shit show universe that is the royal family. I'm sorry. He is. Actually, let me say that again. The real bright star is the Duchess Meghan. Let's keep it 100. Harry is also a star, but let's be honest, the real star is Duchess Meghan. Over the past 5 years, Prince Harry has said or written many outrageous, oh, for goodness sake, keep beating this old horse. Yes, he wrote a book 11 years ago. Enough already. He hasn't spoken about anybody in that family since then, unless they prompt him. You people let this man brief, I beg. Over the past 5 years, Prince Harry has said or written many outrageous and bizarre things about his family, the monarchy, and the media. But however ill-advised his outpourings have been, there has always been a glimmer of hope that the door was never completely closed. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the bitching is all about. And reconciliation with loved ones, however remote, was still possible. His conduct over the past few days, whoa, is beginning to suggest otherwise. Okay, so after lying to us last year that a friend who was a best friend, a cousin who was close to the gardener, somebody who was working inside the palace told a friend who is a receptionist that Harry was talking to old friends again. I thought that was the news before. What has changed? People are ridiculous. Officials already anxious that the Harry grievance show was once again upstaging the diplomacy of an important bilateral visit were understandably reluctant to say whether or not a request had been made by him to see the king, aka the king did not give a shit. The king probably knew that his case was taking place and insisted on being out of the country, because every time Harry comes here and he doesn't see the king, it begins to make him look very stupid, petty, and childish. I'm pretty sure that's why I'm sure the cancer was throbbing wherever it was throbbing. And he said, I don't give a shit. We are flying to Italy. I have a feeling that's why he insisted on being out of the country. That man is very, very pathetic. It is an unwritten rule that when the monarch... I'm sorry. Is on an official overseas visit, the rest of the family have a duty to avoid anything that grabs the limelight. Has Harry forgotten about royal life? Again, let us say it again together, guys. First of all, I don't even know if this is true, but let's say it again together. The appeal has been in the media since last year. We all knew that he appealed his Ravec ruling, and we all knew that it was scheduled last year. This Italian trip probably took a month or two to book, so they booked it after the fact that knowing Harry was coming. How is this Harry's fault, Biko? And again, don't forget, they said King Charles had a health scare, so he didn't have to go on this trip. I stand by what I said. He knew he was coming. All the times Harry comes here and the king doesn't see him causes really bad headlines for Charles. It makes Charles look somehow worse than he already is. So he decided to get out of here, whatever cancer pain or not, notwithstanding, he decided to hightail to Italy for his Italian holiday. Working visit. These courtiers are salty. Yes, they are. Has Harry forgotten everything about royal life? Look at the fuck out of my face. As Charles had made abundantly clear over the past 5+ years, Harry and Meghan were pushed out of royal life and full-time royal work. If the Sussexes pointedly do not receive the respect, yes, protection and security of the royalty, why on earth would they bother with the unwritten rules? Ooh, I didn't even remember that part. Not that in K's full column, he basically says, Harry flying to London to appear in court has done irreparable damage to Harry and Charles's relationship or the hope for reconciliation between father and son, which is also funny and sad. It is funny, not sad to me, just funny, because Charles refuses to speak to Harry while Harry's securities fight is going. They can't even get their story straight about whether Charles knew. I think Charles knew Harry would be in London, or if Harry requested to see his father. God, guys. I don't blame Harry for any of this. Harry gave this pathetic man way more grace than he deserves in his book. I was looking forward to him dragging his father by his nude hairs. But I think that just goes to show that is the very painful and very sad relationship between father and child. Harry loves his father, and of course, Harry loves his brother, and he's not going to hurt them. He's going to speak his truth, because let's be honest with ourselves, guys. If Harry wanted to go scorched earth, ooh, ooh. Well, anyway, this to me, I stand by what I said. Whether you are on Harry's side or you are on Charles's side, let's agree that what Charles is doing is highly inappropriate. Harry has on multiple occasions tried to reach out to his father. If his father is being a petty little and refuses to engage with his son, I don't know what you want Harry to do. Harry, don't mind them, Jerry. We love you. Don't worry. You have Mama Doria. You're fine. Right. Hey, Zandy. How you doing? Guys, see all the support, all the support. And yeah, on this point about kids, I know those are some of my least viewed videos. I understand you guys don't want to hear about this woman, but I want to just quickly say something before I end this particular video. That is the point. The reason why they come after Meghan is not because what she's doing is not effing incredible. It's because they don't want their monarch women to work. Don't forget that Harry is not the only person in this family that tried to work. Beatrice and her sister. Beatrice, I'm so sorry. I can't be bothered to learn your sister's name. Candy? I don't know. What's that? I don't know. Beatrice tried to work when she was younger. They both did. They were part of startups. They were part of firms. And they were dragged in the media too. They were mocked for it. Because they don't want you to work, love. They want you to be a sycophant at home, because they don't want the extra and by they, I think we all know who I'm referring to, the racist women and men that feel pressure whenever Meghan so much as open her eyes. They don't want to feel, is that innate jealousy? Oh, you're already in our eyes considered to be living a very elevated lifestyle, and you're smart and you're a good business person. That is a step too far. That's why everything they do, they try to discredit it. Guys, when Meghan eventually decides to sell as ever, either to a bigger company or does its own IPO for billions, ooh, God, I pray I'm online then. I will drag everybody. In short, I will specifically look for every clip, put it together and laugh, because you know they will be crying with jealousy and resentment. I love that for them. But yeah, what do you guys think? I thought this was a good one. Like I said, I keep on getting monetized. I'm not trying to steal anybody's content. I literally keep on getting monetized. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe. You guys are not watching my videos anymore. I'm not happy. Please like, share, subscribe, and let's catch up later. Mwah. Take care.